Halftime at Doak Campbell Stadium. Florida State at home. Field goal on the last play of the half, leading 16-7. Welcome back, everybody. Brad Nessler and Bob Greasy along with you. Partner, this thing could be a lot closer. A couple missed field goals by Colorado. They're right in this thing.
Yeah, I think Gary Barnett's crew is doing a nice job. They missed scoring on that first drive. I think the thing they got to look out for the second half, though, is the heat and the humidity.
Right.
I think that's going to fall in the favor of Florida State. They're used to it, and they've got a lot of players to put in the ball game.
They had two 10-play drives that came up empty on missed field goals. While Bobby Bowden's team got a fumble recovery in the waning moments of the second quarter. Then Chris Ricks went to work and hit Crofonzo Thorpe down around the 10-yard line. That led to the kick just at the end of the second quarter, and thus their 9-point lead, 16-7. Eberhardt, who missed those field goals, has got it teed up. He hit the upright with one and just wide right, had plenty of distance on the other one. Antonio Cromartie, the freshman, and Crofonzo Thorpe, the guy that has Florida State's touchdown, are deep to return. Cromartie had a thought. He's about 3 yards deep. He'll take a knee, and Florida State will work from the 20-yard line as we check in with Lynn.
Well, Brad, I talked to the coach Bowden on the sideline, and he said he wants to come out here in this second half. First thing he wants to do is throw the football, move it down, and score. He says we got a 2-touchdown lead here, but a 2-score lead, but we want a 3-score lead. He wants to get the Buffaloes tired. He wants to wear them down. He said intentionally. He said once we wear them down, they'll probably blitz a lot more, so we have to be on the lookout for that. But he thinks he can wear them down in the second half and then take advantage of it.
All right, so we'll see if they go with a no huddle to try to do that in part. They'll work from the 20. Play action. Ricks, plenty of time. Chris throws it complete. Ooh, what a hit on Willie Reed right there. Put on by J.J. Billingsley as we take a look at our Pacific Life game summary and the statistics from the first two quarters here in Tallahassee. Some good looking numbers, especially for the passing game of Florida State.
Well, look here, the field goals, the difference, the Florida State's making theirs and the Buffaloes are not. Time of possession about the same. And the turnover, that one led to the field goal for Florida State just before the half. But possession, total yardage about the same.
On a 2nd and 7, the quick snap out to P.K. Sam for the first down at about the 32-yard line. Offensive leaders in that first half. Chris Ricks had a sensational first half.
227 yards passing, another 17 yards rushing, and Thorpe was the leading receiver with the one big touchdown.
So now the first down throw out to the 33-yard line. 1st and 10, Florida State, opening drive, third quarter. Ricks fires far side, another strike to Thorpe. Those numbers for Crofonzo are going to keep getting better.
Well, we go back to what we said coming into the ball game, that Ricks should have a big day along with his wide receivers, because they play a lot of man coverage on the outside. Does Colorado? You play defensive back in this secondary, you better be pretty good on that corner.
6 for 129 for Crofonzo Thorpe, including the touchdown catch, and he's got it just on the Florida State side of midfield.
Again, no huddle. Ball, just line up the line of scrimmage.
This time they'll run it. Willie Reed cuts outside. Nice stiff arm by Reed. Down the sideline and knocked out of bounds. No, he's still on his feet. I thought he went out at the 30, but he didn't. All the way down to the 13-yard line. Boy, how did he tightrope that sideline?
Well, you got the problem that was with the Buffaloes last week have just come back. The poor tackling. Joseph, number one, he doesn't make the tackle. And then you just have to push him out of bounds. What was that, Moore? He didn't get him out.
The crossover step, I don't even know how you get your feet that way for Willie Reed, especially when you're going that fast, and he avoided going out of bounds. And a 38-yard career-long run.
See, Willie Reed made a run that Greg Jones probably couldn't have made. He tried to get around the corner, wasn't quick enough.
So Florida State doing what Swanee said Bobby Bowden wanted him to do, get down in scoring range and do something with it. This time they're stopped, though. Willie Reed put down by Sean Tufts, a tough linebacker.
Brad, I'm going to have to do a little homework on Willie Reed. That move on down the sideline, he must have been a dancer like me.
I think so. It was a little ballerina thing, Swan.
Yeah, that's a little tap dance move, a little jazz move. I could do that move when I was younger, and maybe he was a dancer.
It really didn't look possible.
All
even
right,
on the
you
replay.
two. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Just
Second down and 10.
tap-toeing and dancing and stuff.
Greasy's a square dancer from Purdue. Dozy Do. Ricks throws. PK Sam off his fingertips as he's sandwiched between two defenders, incomplete. Chris Ricks had hit his last 6 passes. That one had a lot on it, and it was a little bit high, and Sam couldn't hold it.
Chris is, like I said, he's in his 4th year here. He's a 4th-year junior. And that was wide open. Those are the types of things that he needs to hit consistently. He's having a good day, but consistently he's missing some of the things he should be hitting.
3rd down and 10 from the Buffalo's 13-yard line. Swings it out of the backfield, and that one's only going back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard gain for James Coleman. And Beitia will come out to try another field goal. So Colorado gave up some big chunks and then stiffened defensively when they had to, and they'll force a field goal attempt.
The mark of a good offense is scoring once you get inside the 20-yard line, or the red zone as it's popularly called, and they have not done that. They have settled for field goals now if they make this one on 4 of their last 5 possessions.
Beitia will try a 29-yarder, hit a 27-yarder on the last play of the second quarter. And the kick on the way, and it's good. So they don't get 7, which Bobby Bowden was hoping for, but they did take it down the field and tack on 3 more. 4th field goal of the game for Beitia. It's 19-7 Knowles.
See you next week.
See you, Bill. Good job, man. Rusty, what's hurt? Hey, we're trying to get home, man.
Introducing the Dodge SRT series. Race inspired, street legal.
Sweet.
This Tuesday on Playmakers. They're devastated.
Move! Man coming through!
I need an injury report.
Told me ACL again, didn't I?
What you got is what you deserve.
What'd you say?
They've crossed the line.
I'm never going to be able to forget what happened.
What do you think you're doing?
Do not remove that IV.
Lost control.
Hitch, you all right?
I have to spell it out for you.
You asked me to buy your drugs?
And they've got 20 minutes.
You got a problem?
I know what you did to pull it all together. Playmakers, the hit series continues this Tuesday, 9 p.m. on ESPN.
We're back. Players still down on the field. How do you deal with that as a coach?
Well, when a player gets hurt and you're a coach, it doesn't make any difference if it's your player or it's the other team's player. Everything stops until you're sure he's okay.
And he's up.
Hey, it looks like he's going to be all right.
Outback's curbside takeaway. Call up, pull up, then enjoy the great taste of Outback anywhere.
In football town, I know my team needs me.
And without my voice, the game could be lost. In football town!
I know it can make a difference.
I know fans can win the game. I've seen it, I've felt it, I've tasted it.
Oh, yeah!
I know. You make the game.
Sunday, the new drama that's being called attention-grabbing. A surprise of the season. Threat Matrix and Encore premieres Sunday 8/7 Central on ABC.
It's a bye week for the surprising Carolina Panthers, so Chris Weinke has a chance to come back where he matriculated into a Heisman Trophy winner here at Florida State, signing some autographs for the crowd.
I talked to him before the ball game, and
we're probably talking golf. You
I
two.
told him, no, I said, just hang in there. I said, you don't have to, you're not going to make your whole professional career in your first 2 or 3 years. Down the road, he may be somewhere and play a lot of football.
About 7 yards deep. Wheatley will not bring out Beattia's kick, so Zaviat's done a nice job. Career high for him that last field goal. He's got 4 on the game.
He's probably the only guy that's happy about those field
Well,
goals.
that's probably true, yeah. Offensive stars for Colorado. Eric Greenberg making his first start certainly didn't disappoint anybody.
He's done well. Calhoun 85 yards rushing, like you mentioned, on those 2 big runs mainly.
And Bloom, the 1 touchdown that they have on an 81-yard reception.
9 of his 10 completions have been to wide receivers.
Calhoun, here's a guy that did the early damage on the first drive, and Darnell Dockett stops him for a loss. Another tackle for loss for the guy that leads the Seminoles in that category, as he passed Ron Simmons last year. And I think he's had at least 2 tackles for loss today. I think he's up around 54 for his career.
At least, yeah. He's a 4-year starter. They said his attitude has changed completely. The first couple of years, last year and the year before, you can tell only seven tackles for loss last year, all year, what he had the first 2 seasons. But his attitude is much better this year, and one of the team leaders.
As I said, you can tack 2 more onto the total he has today, so 54 in his career. That'll be a hard one to match for anybody. B.J. Ward makes a stop on Brian Calhoun. Darnell Dockett was suspended last year for the Sugar Bowl, as you might remember. We did that game as Florida State played Georgia. And then he was banned from spring practice, too. Got himself in some trouble, had to do some community service, and he spent a month out as part of trash pickup duty for Darnell, and came back a new man, as Bobby Bowden even has had him talk to the team before the game. And as Bob said, the attitude changed the whole thing, and plus he's the player now they expected him to be. Incomplete on a pass intended for Ron Monte. And Colorado didn't do much with that. They've got to give it up. Colorado had 5 of their 7 possessions started at the 20-yard line or worse. They started at their 20 there, and they only got it to the 27.
Well, the last 4 possessions, the last 3 possessions, they've been 3 and out, and one of them was a fumble.
Chris Davis, the redshirt freshman, number 5, waiting on John Torp's punt. Florida State really hasn't gone after Torp so far today. And Florida State takes a timeout, so we'll take one with them. 11 minutes, 10 seconds remaining, 3rd quarter. Florida State leading Colorado by 12.
For our lowest rate on a great car, go thrifty.com.
In 1868, an American tradition was beginning, and Pacific Life was founded, both built on principles of persistence, performance, and strength. 135 years later, those beliefs still guide Pacific Life. It's how we help so many businesses and individuals reach their financial goals. For insurance, annuities, and investments, rely on the strength of Pacific Life, proud sponsor of the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl.
Hey, Don!
Hey, what's up?
You going to Tommy's party?
I can't, I'm working.
Oh.
The Dodge SXTs, 4 cool cars, and you won't have to work 2 jobs just to buy one.
Don, you made it!
I like your hat.
Grab Dodge's 770 powertrain limited warranty. Ford, Chevy, and Toyota don't match it.
For our lowest rate on a great car, go thrifty.com.
With Bob Greasy and Lynn Swan, Brad Nessler back with you. Doak Campbell Stadium, where Colorado's 3 and out again. John Torp has done a nice job punting today. I'm surprised Florida State hasn't put more heat on them. They're, over the years, have been a great team at blocking kicks. High snap here. Handles it well. Chris Davis waits at the 28. Davis put down at about the 37. As we check in Times Square Stadium in New York, here's John.
And the Verizon Wireless update, UCLA no match for Oklahoma today. Jason White having a great day. Tosses this one 22 yards. Lance Donnelly takes it in for the touchdown and a 35-10 lead for the Sooners.
Nice to see Jason White
after two knee injuries playing that well.
Yeah, playing well.
Here Chris Ricks has played well for Florida State. And he'll work from the shotgun at the 38-yard line. Quick pass, quick reception. PK Sam dragged out of bounds as he got about 9. We check in with Swanee.
Well, I'm with Charlie Ward. Charlie, it's been 10 years since you've been on the sideline throwing the ball, winning the Heisman Trophy. Does it look any different to you?
No, not much. I mean, except for the stands, a lot more people. But for the most part, football is football, hitting and catching and throwing, and it's been good.
10 years ago, you put the Heisman Trophy in your back pocket. You've had a successful career with the New York Knicks. I don't think I know the answer, but any regrets not having played football?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm healthy as possible right now, and I'm going on my 10th year in the NBA, and I'm grateful, for the opportunity to do that. And I don't miss football at all.
Well, I know you enjoy watching your team occasionally play, so we'll let you get back to doing that.
All right, thanks, Lynn.
Thank you, Charlie.
Charlie Ward, who said he was more happy to come back today to have his 3-year-old son Caleb come with him to experience what Doak Campbell Stadium's all about. As Dominic Robinson with the pass reception from Ricks is a first down at the 35. Ricks back to the air. PK Sam puts his hand down, keeps his balance, might have another first down. So now it's Florida State's passing offense getting in gear again with 10 minutes to go, third quarter.
And they're doing it primarily without a huddle, as you see when Chris gets up there, and that's everybody get to the line of scrimmage. That's what he's waving his hand for. Now he waves to the side. They've given him the signal. There's no rush. This is just a tempo thing. It's a rhythm thing. Rather than getting in the huddle and calling the play and breaking the huddle, this is just another way of doing it.
Still has 15 seconds on the play clock. Here comes a blitz from the secondary. And a loss on this play of 3 or 4. Medford Moore came flying in there.
A nice changeup. It's a nice changeup by Vince O'Crew. Everybody, the offense is worrying about. Take a look here. The linebackers are just going to come blitzing from up the middle. That's Moore from the free safety spot and the other outside linebacker. But this is nice for the defense. Just don't sit back and let them do what they want. Mix it up a little bit.
Reed and Dean flanking Ricks in the shotgun, and penalty markers down. Been a busy officiating crew today.
Start offense. 5 yards. Still third down.
So it's going to be third down and long now. 5th penalty against Bobby Bowden's team.
Boys, just a quick update in terms of Kendall Pope. He's on the sideline. The linebacker will not be back in the second half. But good news, Bob Meeks, number 73, has been very productive on the offensive line. He hasn't come out except for one time in the first half, so they're getting a lot of work out of the young man who's worried about his asthma.
He'll be blocking for Chris Ricks here, and they're going to bring heat from the secondary again, it appears. On the blitz, quick throw to the outside of Davis. Davis put a nice move on, but he got stuck right in the chest by
tackle.
Clyde Sorrell.
Sorrell going to say, hey, coach, how you like that tackle? Yeah, he says, I haven't been in there. I need to get these in here to show how these guys how to tackle a little bit. Ricks did a nice job of seeing the blitz, getting rid of the ball to Davis. Davis not very big now. He tries to put a few moves on that. Oh,
man.
Should have put another one on.
He's put some open field stops on today like we haven't seen for a while.
Boys, at 4th down, the offensive linemen, players on the field were signaling over to the sideline telling the coaches, we want to go for it on 4th down. The coaches shouldn't normally give in to emotional players, but 4th down, they're going for it.
Yeah, they're 2 for 2 today, Swanee. We'll see if they pick up another long 2 here. Ricks, the toss, might be an end around to Thorpe. Now he needs a block. He won't get there. Dropped way back by Billingsley. That's the play they ran on the first snap last week against Georgia Tech. It picked up 16 yards, but they fumbled. They tried it here, a little dipsy-do on 4th and 2, and they don't get it.
Yeah, see, I don't like this play, because you're trying to trick somebody. The defense is going to be up there. The defense is going to be up here, just coming across as hard as they can. It's going to be a toss this way. You're trying to fool somebody with the reverse right here. Now it's coming back. Look at all these guys coming back the other way.
Credit Colorado's defense for staying home, staying in their lanes. Big loss on the play, and now their offense takes over at its own 37-yard line. Calhoun slipped again. He's had some trouble with his footing today. He's had some nice runs, but he has fallen down before contact, I'd say 3 times already today.
Well, that's his MO. He likes to stop and start. He's a slasher, and he gets through the hole, and then he cuts and breaks and goes around. He's not a power runner.
He's facing a lot of traffic, and Womble, number 91, has been stopping him a lot. Watch this play. He gets tripped here on that one by his own quarterback.
Yeah. Get that quarterback out of the way.
2nd down, 11. This time he goes straight ahead, puts both arms around the ball, and has Darnell Dockett for one draped all over him, along with Jerome Carter.
And incidentally, that is the quarterback's fault. Quarterback needs to get his feet out of the way after he hands the ball off to the runner to give him as much room as he might need. Now, you know, Greenberg is just in there for the first time this week. He may not have been working with Calhoun a lot.
You didn't get out of Zonka's way, break your ankle.
Just stayed out of those. I get way out of their way.
Down to 6:35, third quarter.
Greenberg wasn't in that dance class, was he?
I don't think so. He may have to dance a little bit here. 3rd and 8. Florida State's defense pins its ears back, and here they come. Hit as he throws, and incomplete. He should have danced all night. He'll feel that one tomorrow. How about the game Cameron Wimbley's had? He's the guy that caused a fumble earlier that led to a field goal. He had a big tackle for loss earlier and a sack. And the 4th straight time the drive ends without a first down for Colorado, courtesy of that hit.
Yeah, that's, you know, a little bit of that is Greenberg's fault. He got deep and he didn't step up in the pocket. Now you got to feel when those ends are coming around. Now the tackles have got to block the defensive ends, but he could have helped it by stepping up into the pocket.
Dominic Robinson, number 21, back deep. Torque to kick. And the left footer hangs it high. Robinson from the 24. Up the middle and to about the 34. 10-yard return of a 38-yard punt. 6 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Still Florida State leading 19-7.
Want to start a family?
Right now?
I just got supplemental insurance.
What's that?
Aflac. Well, if we get sick, our health insurance won't cover things like lost pay or other expenses. This does.
What's it called?
Aflac!
I don't know.
Aflac!
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Celia Cruz, the queen of salsa.
Queen of the salsa,
like Dr. Pepper. Her inspiration is a light, and it's burning bright. The taste of Dr. Pepper. The taste of originality. Loves individuality, and it's my personality. Do what you do. Be you, nothing's better. Dr.
Welcome to the meeting that's nothing like a meeting. No travel, no downtime, just pure collaboration. Microsoft Office Live Meeting, a new service that lets you collaborate with groups small to large. Hold impromptu discussions to high-profile presentations, all with just a phone, PC, and an internet connection. So no matter where you are, it's as if you're all at the same table.
Comedy rules on ABC Tuesday, when the season premiere of According to Jim
That was my lipstick.
breaks all the rules. That was my wallet. ABC Tuesday at 9/8 Central.
ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Aflac. Ask about it at work. Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. And Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you, nothing's better. Dr. Pepper. Line of scrimmage will not be the 20, the 34-yard line. That's where Florida State will work with 6:13 remaining here in the third quarter. They lead 19-7. Xavier Beitia with a career-high 4 field goals. Chris Ricks with a touchdown strike to Crefonzo Thorpe. Gary Barnett's only score came in on an 81-yard pass play from Eric Greenberg to Jeremy Bloom. That's where we stand here in the third. Greg Jones back in the tailback spot. He hasn't gotten much work today. They fake it to him here. Ricks loads and fires long for Thorpe. Got him out there and got him. Touchdown. "66 yards. Ricks to Thorpe for the second time today.
If you're an offensive receiver or a quarterback, you love this type of defense.
Extra point coming up. Beatty try to make it 26-7, and he does. One play, 66 yards in 12 seconds. Boy, they have hooked up with two of the prettiest passes you ever want to see.
Well, you love it if you're an offensive person. There's single coverage on this receiver, single on this one, and single out here. That's where Thorpe is going to go down and just run straight past him. Bottom of your screen, just a speed route straight down the field. This is a great throw. Doesn't break stride, takes it into the end zone. I mean, you know, if you're an offensive guy, you just love days like this. I mean, there's other times when there's three deep zone and you can't get behind them and they're dropping everybody off. But then there are days like this where there's single coverage and you just play pitch and catch.
Rafonso Thorpe's got 7 catches, 195 yards, and 2 perfect passes from that guy. 28 completions for Chris Ricks is a career high.
These types of days will build your confidence.
Oh, I guess. Ricks has hit 12 of his last 13 passes. You saw 365 yards. And 2 that you can't even do that in practice with nobody covering you.
Yeah.
That's how good they were. Bloom waits on Beatty's kick. And another deep kick. Another touchback. Good kickoff by Xavier Bethia. So Colorado will have to work from its own 20-yard line. We asked you earlier our singular poll question, which school should be ranked #1 this week, and gave you 5 options there. And Oklahoma and Michigan tied. I don't know if the folks aren't watching the Oregon-Michigan game or not. I'm not sure. But there's the percentages. You can still vote. 32% between the Wolverines and
How about
the
you, partner? Who'd you vote for?
I'd vote for Oklahoma.
I think that right now, at this time of the year, I'd vote for Oklahoma.
Trojans, Trojans, Trojans.
Okay, Swanee. Greenberg trying to go deep on the sideline. And not quite a heck of a attempt by Calhoun. Incomplete. B.J. Ward was covering. And Colorado now finds itself in that situation worse than what Swanee even talked about with Bobby Bowden. They were worrying about a 2-score deficit. And since 8 minutes remain in the second quarter, they haven't even gotten a first down. The Bloom touchdown was the one big play that they have on the scoreboard, 81-yarder. That's it. Second down at 10. Defense playing with a lead now. That can be dangerous if you're against Florida State. Pass over the middle is complete. On the run, DJ Hackett. Hackett, nice move to the outside. Got around Ward. And then Hall runs him out of bounds. It'll be a first down for Colorado after we check in with John Saunders in New York.
But Brad, the Michigan Wolverines finally getting some offense going. John Navarro here finds Jason Avant 23 yards. I'm not quite sure he actually got this one in. The refs give it to him. But Oregon has the ball back, and they are on the 10-yard line, threatening to score again. 24-13 Ducks.
The Pac-10 right now leading the Big Ten in that one. The ACC leading the Big 12 in this one with 5:50 remaining in the third quarter. First down at the 38. Gunning it is Greenberg, and Calhoun couldn't hold it.
I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with Greenberg for his first start.
Yeah.
You know, he's made a bunch of good decisions. He's thrown the ball on target. He's gotten the ball to his guys that can make some plays on the outside. This is a tough defense. Florida State defensively came 10th in the nation in total defense, 5th against scoring defense. So, you know, this defense, it only allowed 1 touchdown coming in. And Greenberg's done a nice job.
Faces second down and 10 at the 38. Florida State showing blitz, and now they back out of that. Nicholson had jumped up in the gaps. Screen pass to Calhoun. Broke 1 tackle, cuts outside, got a first down. Shifty Brian Calhoun goes for 12 yards and a first down. Colorado right at midfield. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 38 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Florida State 2 long touchdown passes from Chris Ricks to Crefonzo Thorpe. 4 field goals, a career high for Xavier Beitia, and they lead Colorado with the Big 12 26-7 here with just over 5.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Bobby Bowden looking for win number 336, and I believe Penn State lost today, didn't they?
I didn't hear.
I'm not sure. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but he's only 2 behind Joe Paterno as flags go down on the play. Penn State won today. I stand corrected. So that means that Joe Paterno, who said this week, he says Bobby Bowden getting closer to him, only 2 games behind in the win column. He says, that sneaky little rascal. Call him a sneaky little rascal. But he said, you know what, when it's all said and done, if I end up with it or Bobby ends up with it, at least Bobby is a good friend of mine, and I'd love to see him be the guy if it wasn't me. Now that's active winning percentage. That's not what we're talking
we
about
don't want
here.
Percentage. We want number of wins.
And for Bobby Bowden, if he can go on to win this, it'll be 336. Joe Pa won today, so 338. 2 of the legends, who've both passed Bear Bryant, of course.
A couple of nice guys there too, huh?
Oh boy. And we've had a chance in the last 2 weekends to spend a lot of time with both of them. You cherish every one of those moments. They're very different. They're very, very funny individuals in their own right.
In their own way.
And the stories you hear,
Joe,
I wish we could share all of them.
Joe in his jacket and tie in his hotel room, sitting there telling stories, and Bobby on his tower at practice, both in their own element in their different ways.
First down, Calhoun. Boy, a nice play defensively. Looked like he was going to get a little seam. And I'm telling you, Wembley, a kid is playing unbelievable at defensive end. A 6'4" sophomore, only about 235 pounds. Great speed. That's what Florida State likes with their defensive linemen.
Watch the play that he makes. He's going to come upfield, and then he's going to come back and get involved in trying to strip the ball carrier of the ball. He goes up play field, and then he sees it.
Wow.
Now he comes back right there and gets a piece of it.
Perfect spin move to get away from the would-be blocker and make the stop. 8 tackles for Wembley today. Second down and 17. End around, Bloom going down. Guess who?
These are the backup defensive linemen. Wembley is a backup to Eric Moore.
Right on cue.
Yeah, he doesn't get to play that often, but when I'm in there, he says, I'm doing the best I can. He's just a sophomore. Top of your screen. He sees it coming. Does a nice job of playing his responsibility.
Sam Wilder's got his hands full over there. Yeah. He doesn't know how to block this guy. Third down and a mile.
This is the 6th time it's been third and more than 10 yards.
Greenberg, look out from behind. He got rid of it and almost intercepted. Leroy Smith was back there, made a diving attempt at it. And they'll have to give it up again.
The way Wembley came off the stadium, boys, it appears that, Greenberg came off the field. It appears that Wembley got enough of them just to make him stretch out that neck a little bit.
Wembley had one of the great series we've seen in a while from a defensive player on those snaps, forcing a 4th down. Busy punter today is Trop. Torp knocks it out of bounds. A beautiful kick down to the 9-yard line. Right now Time to take a look at our Dodge defensive playbook, Bob.
All right, let's see if I can do this.
All right.
What the offense would like is the big offensive lineman on the defensive lineman, just like this. That's what the offense would like. What the defense would like is for the defensive lineman to be on the lineman and get one free guy coming up on the back. Now, you see the defensive line. Go ahead and run it. The defensive lineman there comes up on a running back. That's unfair. The offensive line would like to have the big guy on that, but the defense like to run their schemes where they can get all the offensive linemen on somebody else and get a big defensive lineman free.
Chris Ricks zips it out. PK Sam, 10th catch of the day. Out to the 31. So what you're saying is you don't mind big guys on big guys. You don't like a big guy on a little guy.
Just give me a fair chance.
All right.
If I'm a quarterback, I mean, I don't want my little running back blocking a big defensive end. We've seen too many of those guys here today doing too much destruction. I'm an offensive guy. I root for whatever offense is on the field.
Right now the Colorado corners might be saying to Chris Ricks, just give us a chance. PK Sam and Crofonzo Thorpe are putting up career numbers. And Ricks just keeps on slinging it. Back to throw again. Out to Jones out of the backfield. Greg trying to get the corner and got to almost the 35-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. Time permitting, remind you to stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report. John Terry and Craig will have scores and highlights from around the country. Here with 3 minutes left in the third, it's 26-7. And a second down and 7 coming up. Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator for Florida State.
He's loving this, isn't he?
He is.
He's loving it. He likes working with those young guys.
They've only given up 2 touchdowns now in 3 games and almost 3 quarters of football this year. Ricks, his safety valves out of the backfield. And short of the first down, it appears, by about a yard as B.J. Dean. Beg your pardon, that was James Coleman. Ricks has hit his last 8 passes. Vince O'Crew is looking for some kind of defense to stop that. Almost 400 yards for Chris Ricks.
I could have predicted that today.
You did, actually.
I think I did, yes.
And Chris was only hoping that it would be what he had seen in practice on film and what they'd worked on, and it has been that and then some for him.
We had a little conversation yesterday, and he was kind of smiling. And I relayed something about one of the Super Bowls I had played in, that I only hope that when the Vikings come out to play, they're in the same defense we've seen. And he says, that's about the way I feel about this team tomorrow.
The Vikings had 2 weeks to get ready and didn't change anything, and you were ready for it.
Well, of course, you know, when you get to the Super Bowl, you're not going to change anything. You do what got you there.
Speaking of NFL football, Monday night, classic showdown between 2 division rivals. The Raiders will take on the Broncos, and after a couple of tough losses at the hands of the Raiders last season, you know the Broncos are going to be looking for some payback. Monday Night Football, live 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, right here on ABC.
What do you think about Mike Shanahan?
Well, he pulled some skullduggery.
No, I think it was fine.
I do too.
I think you can.
I don't think you have to tell anybody what's wrong with your quarterback.
I think you have to be honest before the game, and you have to be honest after the game. But I think during the game, if it's going to affect the other team's going to hear what you might tell the press, I think you do anything you want during a game.
Old friend of ours, Richie Gannon, you saw his career numbers, and Shannon Sharp, great tight end, who's in his second stint with the Broncos. Those two will be head-to-head on Monday Night Football.
And Jake the Snake is going to be back. Little shoulder separation, a little concussion.
I don't think of both of those as little. Third down a yard.
As long as it's not your arm.
That's right. And Greg Jones with a first down run. Let's check in with John in New York.
Brad, the Michigan Wolverines got it going a bit. Big stop here. 4th and goal. The fake field goal. Jared Siegel is stopped at the 2. Wolverines get the ball back, and right now marching the ball deep in Oregon territory, trailing by 11.
Here it's Florida State by 19 with just over 2 minutes to go in the third quarter with a blitz on. Chris Ricks down the middle. Skipped that one off the hands of Dominique Robinson. And it's incomplete. That'll bring up second down at 10. Is that the first one he's missed in a while?
Well, he missed it. Here's the little blitz now. Colorado is coming, mixing it up a little bit. showing the offensive line. See, they got mixed up. The blitzers, they weren't in the right lanes, and one offensive blocker blocked two defensive guys.
That one sailed on Chris a little bit. He'd hit his previous 8 consecutive passes.
Maybe it's because they had a little blitz, a little heat on him.
2nd and 10, going long this time for PK Sam. Broken up. Nice job defensively. Terrence Wheatley, a freshman back there, staying with PK Sam. And that one worked with Crefonzo Thorpe earlier. Thorpe has bigger speed than Sam. And still, the battle for the ball went right down to the wire.
You got Wheatley, a true freshman, as you mentioned, in there playing that corner now. He's out there by himself. I mean, you get no help at all.
Nope. Out of Richardson, Texas. And a 3rd down and 10 coming up. So back-to-back incompletion, something we haven't seen many times today, that's for sure. Having the game of his life, Chris Ricks, as far as yardage. And Jones got almost to midfield. J.J. Billingsley brought him down. And finally, Florida State's going to have to punt. That means Jeremy Bloom will get back there, and he's a guy that knows what to do with a punt return.
When I get the ball, I try not to think at all and just react to different colors coming in. Everything happens so fast that, you just hope that when the play's over, you're in the end zone.
Don't think at all.
I like
just react to colors.
You need to react to colors.
Yeah.
I like that. And that's true.
Florida State has both its gunners up at the top of the screen. Out on the left side.
I bet he's kicking it to the right.
And that's where he'll hang it. And Bloom's going to have to let it go and get out of the way, and it goes in the end zone. Touchback. 51-yard punt, but it'll come out to the 20-yard line. So Florida State will come back out defensively. The last series, it was the Wembley show. All over the place. Not only on that series, but in the first quarter, he came up with a sack that put down the quarterback. Brought down Bloom in the open field. Not many people can do that. And he basically made all 3 plays the last time he was out there on the 3 and out.
There he is up here.
This time they get him blocked. And the pass incomplete, intended for Derek McCoy. Rufus Brown, B.J. Ward, they were back there in the secondary.
They got some young guys back there. A guy named Cromartie is back there, true freshman. What was we was talking to Mickey Andrews yesterday, and he had some nice things to say
about Cromartie.
About young guys, playing young guys
in general. You see,
these freshman quarterbacks.
You got to get freshman corners out there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to get them out and let them wet their pants.
So they got to play.
That's right. Watkins is a sophomore. He's already wet his pants last year.
Yeah.
Cromartie just this season.
Yeah.
Here's Calhoun trying to weave inside.
Last year he told me one about true freshmen. He said, I said, Mickey, I said, you got some great young freshmen. They got a lot of speed. I said, you got to get them out there on the field. He says, these guys are fast. He says, yeah. He says, but if that speed's taking them in the wrong direction, they're just getting further from the ball. They don't know where they're going.
He's got just about one every time we get together with him. We're starting to think about making a dictionary or thesaurus of terms for Mickey. 3rd down along 4. Colorado needs to get something going, and the pass is high and it's incomplete.
That's poor throw.
Intended for Hackett, and they've got to give it up again.
Well, Mickey's happy about that.
He's been here almost 20 years.
Yeah.
He's in the USFL, and he's at Florida, Clemson, and Northern Alabama.
He's a head coach at Northern Alabama. But he's a guy that has not gotten many looks at head coaches in the last 5-10 years. Whereas Mark Rick and Amato at North Carolina, they both, not many guys come around here looking for head coaches, but when they do, those guys have gone on and become good coaches.
Bad snap. Florida State trying to get on top of it. It might be Wembley. While they're doing this construction out here, why don't they build a statue of this kid? What a half he's had.
Outstanding. Not a bad snap,
no, the
partner.
snap was good. It was good. Just bobbled.
He backhanded it.
And the man on top of it's number 95. And there's Mickey giving him one on the backside.
Yes, sir.
So a great scoring opportunity for Florida State. And the opportunities look like they're starting to slip away for Gary Barnett's troops. First down at the 12-yard line. The pitch to Jones. Jones inside the 10 to about the 1-yard line.
That's the first time that he's really cut it loose. He had knee surgery in the offseason, and just coming back, that was a good run right there.
He might get the first carry of the fourth quarter, too. We played 3 in Tallahassee. At the end of 3, 9th-ranked Florida State 26, Colorado 7. Our presentation of college football will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. You're watching ABC Sports Championship Television.
I can't sleep, Mom. There are monsters in my closet.
I have an idea. There, honey. Feel safe?
Now the monsters are under the caravan.
No, they aren't. I'll show you.
Dodge Caravan, a feeling of security no matter what lies ahead.
Told you so.
Sure, let's hide under the minivan. Great idea.
See Monsters, Inc. now on DVD and in the Dodge Caravan. Grab Dodge's 770 powertrain limited warranty. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, and Honda don't match it.
Introducing Taco Bell's new spicy chicken burrito. It's a little spicy. Taco Bell's new spicy chicken burrito, packed with shredded chicken, simmered in Mexican spices. It's tasty, filling, and only $1.29. To get your fill of this satisfying thrill, think outside the bun.
The 15th precinct is a hotbed of corruption.
Talking about not generation.
Blues stunning season opener, ABC Tuesday, 10/9 Central.
Feel the difference at Tallahassee Memorial.
Doc, we need your help.
I've seen this before. Injured by late payments and a poor credit history.
Can you save him?
You brought him to the right place.
First Team Isuzu's Credit Clinic. If job loss, late payments, divorce, alimony, medical bills, bad luck, or even bankruptcy have hurt your credit, we can help. Call the Credit Clinic now. If you have a steady job earning $1,500 plus per month, you're approved.
Thanks, Doc. You really saved me.
Call First Team Isuzu's Credit Clinic now, and we'll help you get back on the road to credit recovery.
New patients and walk-ins welcomed. You're watching ABC News Channel 27.
Football on ABC Sports Championship Television.
Brad Nesler, Bob Greasley, Lynn Swan, and our ABC crew in Tallahassee, where Florida State's dominating the game right now, entering the fourth quarter 26-7, and they're one play away from adding to it. It is first and goal at the Buffalo's 1-yard line. Greg Jones, with his best run of the day, is the guy that got him down to the 1. Let's see if he gets the call here. He will. Touchdown, Florida State.
You call that one, didn't you, partner?
He earned it.
Not only did he earn it, but I think you build the confidence of these players like Chris Rick and the kicker Beatty. Beatty has kicked 4 or 5 field goals today. His confidence has been boosted by this game. Rick's has been boosted by this game. Greg Jones, coming back off that knee surgery, has not really had a really top game this year. Needs to get some confidence back in himself.
Fourth rushing touchdown of the year from a yard out. There's the big smile, and Beatty's extra point is up and good. It's 33-7. So that was only a 2-play drive. Remember, that followed Wembley's fumble recovery on the bobbled snap by the Colorado punter, and they turn it into points in a hurry. Here it is.
Get the ball to him, get it to him as quickly as you can, get him as deep as you can, let him get a head of steam. 250 pounds, looking for danger.
Speaking of steam, the guy that's been steaming all day on the sideline is Lynn Swanee.
Oh, that's right. And Coach Bowden talked about wearing out the Colorado Buffalo football team. You know, it's been in the 90s. It could have gotten up into the 120s like that, but it didn't. But Colorado was prepared. Underneath their jerseys, they're wearing something like this. It's called a cool vest. It's got a bladder right here, and they come over to the sideline. Walk with me if you would. And it hooks up right here. They pump it into the side. And here was me earlier. I was a guinea pig. They hooked me up. I could use this. Listen to the air come through. The air comes through about 40 pounds per square inch, and it cools the whole body. You're on this for about 30 seconds or a minute, and when your t-shirt is wet, it really cools down the whole body. You don't have to stay in it all day long, just long enough to get really cool. The Colorado team helped Nike to develop this technology, and they continue to perfect it. It's been a great day here. The sunshine hasn't really affected them, but it has still been steaming most of the day.
Is that cool air or water, Swanee?
It's been cool air that pumps through. Matter of fact, I'm going to find a way to get one of those on and hook it to my side, make it portable, so I can walk around with my own cool vest.
I tell you what.
And the officials, too.
Charina probably wants you to get one of those so you quit chasing around the kitchen table at home, cool you down a little bit. So the kick goes out of bounds. It'll be the 20-yard line now.
They wear that under their shoulder pads. I mean, so you just wear it. When you go back out, obviously the air is not inflated. The thing is not inflated. Come back and pump some more air in.
They need something pumped into their team right now. 33-7. Here's a little hitch, complete to Hackett, and Hackett got about 8. Ernie Sims, the linebacker, made the stop, and Florida State getting an opportunity to use some of their backup people.
Tillman's wearing one.
It almost reminds you of the Matrix Reloaded, you know?
Yeah, right. Plug in.
But they're plugging in cool air, not more information into your brain.
Exactly. Greenberg, quick throw, almost picked off. Stanford Samuels, senior cornerback out of Miami, with the play.
He's been around for a while. This is his 6th year. Had a redshirt year and then a medical redshirt.
There aren't too many of those given out around the country. Have that opportunity. And there they do. Florida State, if they drop an interception at practice, normally they're doing push-ups on their own. He did it there. I don't think that was a makeable interception, but he did get a hand on it. 3rd down and a yard, and Fabian Walker's warming up. We know you've seen the last of Chris Ricks, who had a brilliant day. They run in the middle of the pile, just enough for the 1st down. Travis Johnson makes the stop on Brian Calhoun. Well, Gary Barnett's team looks as though it's heading for a 2-2 start. They knew they had a tough 4 weeks at the beginning of the season. They beat Colorado State in a shootout and then got by UCLA, but last week they gave it the most points allowed at home in 20 years. They lost to Washington State 47-26. And now it's 33-7 on the road here. And Chris Ricks, helmet off, cap on, probably done for the day.
Yep.
And it's one he'll remember, that's for sure, for a good reason. Greenberg across the middle, incomplete, intended for Donahoe.
And talking about Colorado and Gary Barnett, you know, the big thing for them is the conference and winning the Northern Division of that conference, which they have done the last couple of years. They were 9-5 overall last year, but 7-1 in the conference. So they went to the conference the divisional championship game, didn't win it.
In fact, that is the way they set up their goals pretty much every year. They want to win their division. You know, that'll put them in the Big 12 championship, and if you're in that, then you might have a shot at the whole enchilada at the end of the season. And obviously they're probably not going to now, but that's the way they approach it. And this will be a hard one for them to come east and go home 33-7 now. They're trying to change it, but
well, they came in here. They played well initially. They made some mistakes. They missed some opportunities. They came in with a quarterback that had never started a game before. Now they're going to have Joel Klatt back for the rest of the season, and also Greenberg. They had Bobby Purify didn't play today, their top runner, and some other injuries that they had. So they'll take this lesson and go back and go into the conference.
Here comes a blitz on Greenberg. He got rid of it just in time. Flags down. And Eric getting up. I hope his lineman can get up too. He's going to help up the big fellas. I think that was Wilder he was helping up, and a holding call to boot on top of it. Right.
Whoa, Wilder says, Samuels, where are you going, boy?
Yeah. And Samuels got to him anyway. Wilder, they had a little stunt going with Wembley going to the inside, and Samuels coming on that outside blitz, and Wilder's going, where's 95? I've been chasing him the whole half. Normally, all of a sudden, little 10 comes flying.
Yeah, normally you block the inside guy the most dangerous, but the outside guy had the most speed.
And a block punt. Trying to shag it down is Florida State. Chauncey Davis, touchdown!
This game belongs to the defensive line. Eric Moore and Wembley and Dockett and Davis have dominated this ball game.
A happy group of Knowles. Etienne for the point after. It's up and good. So Chauncey Davis, a 14-yard return of a block punt. It is all Seminoles right now, 40-7.
We got a problem up here. Tower 12, weather's moving it.
Heading up. Do you have the right truck? Does your truck have a Duramax diesel? Does it have an Allison transmission? Silverado, it's the right truck from Chevy. The most dependable, longest lasting trucks on the road.
Back in the day, the only people who were summoned in such an urgent manner were your super-powered heroes. And even then, the special call went out only if the planet Earth was on the brink of disaster. So what's today's crisis? We're out of eggs, dear. There is an arch-villain named technology on the loose, and it's trying to steal our high life.
College is in our immediate future. Only not the same one. Florida, Texas, Ivy League. All three of us in college at the same time. We need a way to keep in touch. That won't cost us a lot.
With Singular Family Talk, add a line for just $9.99. Share your minutes nationwide with no long-distance charges. Right now, get up to 4 Nokia phones.
We call it our More Money for Books. Yeah, right. Books. Plan.
Add a line for $9.99. Another reason why Singular fits you best.
What do you think? It's perfect. That's exactly what I want.
What?
Except bigger.
What do you mean bigger?
Something really pops the eye. Maybe rubies alternating with the sapphires. More stones. Probably diamonds all the way around.
Life's little expenses. Another good reason to keep your car around. That's why at 75,000 miles, switch to Valvoline's Max Life. Its added ingredients help prevent wear on critical parts.
Hey, this is nothing, guys. For the honeymoon?
Oh. At 75,000, time to switch to Max Life.
I admire the Oakland Raiders for their sportsmanship. They're just a bunch of guys out to enjoy a friendly game of football.
Raiders, Broncos, Monday night on ABC.
Jake's still getting used to the thin air in Denver.
A happy Chauncey Davis, originally signed with Florida State in the class of 2001, went to Jones Junior College and now comes in, and as Bob said, everybody in the act on the defensive line making plays today. And he gets the touchdown on the block punt and the 14-yard return. 40-7 Seminoles. Beitia, who's not only kicked well as a field goal and extra point man today, but he's done a nice job with kickoffs. Knocks Wheatley back to the 1-yard line. Wheatley squirts through, and now Badia has to push him on the sideline to break things up, or he might have been off to the races.
Good special teams play by Colorado.
38-yard kick return, but here's the previous special teams
All right,
play.
what do special team coaches do? Here are 3 FSU players. Now, all these 3 white shirts have got to block, push out the blocking, but watch the center's block. The center has got to block the guy right over him to the left. He snaps the ball, and look who blocks it. He doesn't get the block. The guy they want to get the block punt is the guy right over the center a lot of the times, because he has to snap the ball, and then he's got to raise his head and find the guy to block.
And now Florida State, some of their backup players, and I hate to even say that, that's Kevin Emanuel, he's a starter, but some of these guys they're putting in today are playing better than the guys that started in front of them. So I just say everybody on the defense is smelling blood in the water a little bit right now.
And they all play a lot of snaps. The guys that start probably play the first 2 series of the game, and then the backups play the next series and maybe the 4th series. But the backups get quite a bit of playing time in this system.
2nd down at 12. Greenberg throws, almost picked off by Cromartie. The freshman had a chance, and he can only smile. He'll have many more chances, I'm sure. Florida State is going to win this game. They have Duke on the road next week. Then they have an off week. Then it's Miami. And we will be here for that one against the Hurricanes. Now, the Hurricanes have no picnic tonight, and they have to go to Boston College, a night game. And Boston College has given them fits really over the last 5 or 6 years, but they've always survived it. And you have to go back to the Doug Flutie pass the last time Boston College beat Miami. But that one's tonight on ESPN. That'll be a good ball game. Greenberg hit as he throws, incomplete, intended for Bloom, and Buster Davis busted it up.
Now, Florida State has grown out of this ball game.
Yep.
They have improved offensively. They've improved defensively. Their quarterback has gotten better. Their receivers have gotten better. Last week's game against Georgia Tech, where they just barely won, they didn't get a lot out of that one. But they're getting something out of this.
Another punt forced. Remember, Torp dropped a decent snap that was recovered. Florida State took it in for a touchdown. Next time they snapped it to him, he had his kick blocked. What'll happen this time? Boy, they almost got that one, and he's going to be roughed by the same guy that just scored the touchdown. Chauncey, one too many steps that time. He was smelling back-to-back block punts. And it's roughing the kicker, not running into. So that's going to be a first down for Colorado.
Yeah, just all the good that you just did, Chauncey. The coach is going to come over and just tell you how bad it was.
Yeah. Little overzealous. He got close, but that one he didn't have a shot at.
Of course, maybe Fabian Walker might come over there and say, look, man, I want to get into the ball game.
That's true.
Let's get the offense back out here.
Going back to the Florida State schedule, I guess the point I was trying to make is if Miami survives Boston College, they have West Virginia in a home game on a Thursday night, then they would have a week and a half to prepare for Florida State. Florida State would have an off week to prepare for Miami.
Yeah.
You think that thing wouldn't be pretty big down here on October 11th?
And you certainly think that going to Duke next week that Florida State has a good chance of winning there.
Right. The throw is complete down to the 41-yard line to DJ Hackett. Pickup of 7. Hackett and McCoy, 2 good-looking receivers, and they'll put up some numbers before this season's over. As Bob said earlier, 2 big targets, both 6'3", and both excellent hands and big-time speed.
Hackett's got 6 receptions, 46 yards. McCoy has 4 receptions for 34. They are nice-sized targets.
Greenberg is closing in on a 200-yard game. He had 199 yards and 3 touchdowns in his first performance last week in relief duty. And now here's Brian Calhoun. And Calhoun again slips at the end of the run. Leroy Smith makes sure he goes no further, but he picks up 14, and that's over 100 yards for Brian Calhoun.
Hey, Bob, I'm noticing Calhoun when he runs, a lot of this slipping is when he sets back on his heels. Now watch him as he comes up, he wants to make a move. Watch his feet out in front of him right there.
Yep.
He just got his weight in the wrong place at the wrong time. You can't make a cut when you put your foot out in front of you and you're sitting on the hill. You got to get your body out over the knee, plant it, and cut in the opposite direction.
It all starts in the head. You got to plan on where you want to go.
Greenberg nailed. Augusta in the middle linebacker. Alan Augusta, the senior out of Miami. He walked on to Florida State. He's the only full-time starter that was a walk-on. Mickey Andrews said yesterday to us, when this kid came in, I never in a million years would have thought he'd be our leading tackler and our starting middle linebacker.
Yeah, and he was telling everybody where to go right off the bat. Take a look at Augusta and go ahead and run it. He's going to come up right up the pipe right here. Now watch the hit. He's going to lift him off the ground.
Oh, that'll leave a mark. Penalty markers. And they whistle it dead with 10:46 remaining.
Somebody had to move. There were 7 seconds still left on the play clock. But I'll tell you, Eric Greenberg is right now thinking
5 yards. Still second down.
That maybe it shouldn't have been Florida State that he had his first start.
Yeah, exactly. Let's check in with John Saunders in New York. John.
Brad, Michigan got it back within 3, as we told you, but they have to punt, and Adam Finley has it blocked. It rolls towards the end zone. Nothing but ducks around there. Jordan Carey finally pounces on it. It's a touchdown, and Michigan now down 31-21. Brad.
Michigan special teams were special against Notre Dame, not so special today.
You get a punt blocked for a touchdown, the chances of you winning that game aren't very good.
Here's a loose ball covered by Calhoun, and that one just a bad exchange all the way around. Greenberg never really got the handle, and then tried an inside handoff to Calhoun, who was almost running him over, and that one was ugly from the get-go. There we go. Couple Seminoles.
Talk about one of the great things about college football are the mascots. We haven't seen the mascot here today. Was it Renegade?
Renegade, yeah.
The horse, but
it's a little warm.
Two of the best college mascots right here on these two teams. Ralphie the Buffalo. Remember Ralphie out in Boulder, coming around the bend there? I love Ralphie.
Third down, and again penalty markers. And now it's just turning sloppy. They have to get all the way to the 18-yard line.
Offense.
And they're going the wrong way. They're a lot closer to midfield than they are to the 18 now. Third down at 28 upcoming. Gary Barnett, National Coach of the Year in '95. One of those 2 seasons, as Bob talked about, when he had back-to-back Big Ten championship teams at Northwestern. Went to the Rose Bowl and the Citrus Bowl in those 2 years. His team heavily penalized today. It's hurt him. That and a couple of missed field goals. And then the game turned on him completely because Florida State just got wired up, and everybody has played well, regardless of they're a starter or not for the Seminoles. Punting time again. John Torp's got to be wondering what can happen to me this time.
All this is just a learning curve here, a growing process for both teams, for all these players. They're young players. They'll learn from this and they'll go on.
Torp near his own 40. That was Chris Davis that's back at the 10, but they'll try to keep it out of his hands and try to knock it out of bounds inside the 15 somewhere. Handles a low snap this time. Straight up in the air, but very short. This is one you want to clear out of the way of if you're Florida State, and they do. And it's down at the 21-yard line. 9 minutes, 2 seconds remaining. The Garnet and Gold boys are happy, so are the rest of the Noles fans. They're up big.
Hey, which never-ending pasta you guys get?
Penne with Alfredo sauce.
Spaghetti
with the meat sauce.
Fettuccine
with pesto.
You guys play tennis today?
Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl, just $7.95. Pick one combination of sauce and pasta, then another. Have all you want. Wonderful.
The persistence of 135 years of experience. The performance that has enabled us to work with more than half the Fortune 500. Rely on the strength of Pacific Life.
We got a situation. What's your 20? I'm there.
Do you have the right truck? Does your truck have a big block Vortec V8 and an Allison transmission? Does it have the most torque of any gas-powered heavy-duty pickup? Silverado. It's the right truck from Chevy. The most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
On an uncharted island, 12 fierce competitors have gathered for
the Capital One Mascot Island Challenge.
We've separated America's favorite mascots into the polyester and wool blend tribes. First event, Iron Mascot Marathon.
Cast your vote for the National Mascot of the Year at CapitalOneBowl.com. Tune in the Capital One Bowl to see who wins.
Our Pacific Life game summary. You see the unanswered points going across the board for Florida State, and for Chris Ricks, a career high in completions and yards. Greenberg 192 and a touchdown, but those 2 missed field goals early in the ball game that would have kept it a lot closer, and then the block punt. Another special team snafu by Colorado, and Fabian Walker now will take the field as Chris Ricks' day we knew would be done. High snap, Fabian handles it, and he comes up throwing. Completes it out to the 25. PK Sam, almost a first down. He might have it, in fact. Fabian Walker, when Chris Ricks missed the Sugar Bowl on a suspension for missing an exam, Fabian Walker was the guy we saw as a starter, and he did some nice things. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yep, you like that move, right?
I like that move, yeah.
Right here, he's got to head to the corner and then throw the touchdown pass to Anquan Bolden. So he got some work last year, and here he gets some work in the fourth quarter. And penalty markers down.
Fabian had shoulder surgery after that Sugar Bowl game. Missed a lot of the spring, but he played some in the spring game and is back in good shape.
As Chris Ricks, you consider he had about 3 passes dropped. You can't get much better than that. He has had better touchdown performances. He had 5 touchdowns a couple of years ago against Maryland, but the first number there, the 30 and the 394, are both career highs. So
that'll make you smile.
Yeah, it will. Walker flares it out, complete to Willie Reed. Willie Reed, nice cutback. Got to the 34, almost the 35-yard line. Reminder, next week we're going to be at Purdue. Notre Dame will take on Bob's old club next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern. Pittsburgh and Texas A&M is the BCS Spotlight game presented by ADT. Some of you will see Wake Forest, Virginia in the ACC. Some other regional action from the Pac-10. And we'll be in West Lafayette, Indiana. High throw. Willie Reed can't handle this one. He was open.
Yeah, his throws have been a little bit high.
Maybe just a shade excited to get in there and try to do something. PK Sam a career high as well, 11 catches. And Crefonzo Thorpe had a huge day with 195 yards and 2 touchdowns. So when you got your wide receivers doing that, you got your quarterback on the mark, you're going to beat a lot of people.
And as we talked about, you know, coming in, this could be a big day, and it was.
That time he got him. Willie Reed in the flat. Reed, nice move, broke 2 tackles and got out near midfield. I'm sure there are people in Boulder, Colorado, and maybe elsewhere around the country going, what in the heck's Florida State throwing the football with a 40-7 lead? I think Gary Barnett would probably understand it, that Bobby Bowden wants to get this kid some work.
For sure. Chris Ricks has always got, other than Fabian Walker, and Fabian has not had a lot of playing time. So Gary understands that completely.
Most fans don't, and probably won't. First down, Florida State at its own 49, working from the shotgun. And Walker again throwing those little flare passes out of the backfield, and completes another one. So they move the sticks again. Pick up of a couple. Time permitting, remind you to stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report. John Terry and Craig will have scores and highlights from around the country, some surprises, some upsets, and all the highlights of earlier games and the ones that are going on coming up, time permitting. We've got 6:45 left here. Hand off inside. And that one gains nothing. Napier, who made the catch on the previous play, doesn't get anything on the draw play. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 9. Fabian's a junior out of Americus, Georgia. Florida State always has done well recruiting in the state of Georgia. Probably hasn't recruited as well since Mark Richt went to Georgia.
I was going to say, not as well since Mark Richt left the Seminoles.
3rd down and 9. A dart down the middle, just getting a hand on it was Medford Moore to break it up. Would have been a big 1st down. As we check in with John in New York.
John Navarre was marching Michigan back again with a chance to pull within 3, but he's picked off by Justin Finnessy. And he nearly has open field to go the way. Great game-saving tackle right there. Oregon with the ball, trying to run the clock out. About 4:47 left in the game. They 10-point lead. LSU, meanwhile, leads Georgia 10-3.
Just talking about Mark Richt, and they knew they were in for a fight today in Baton Rouge. And they may not be able to come back, the defending SEC champions, to win that one. 10-3, that score. Chris Hall with a punt, knocks it in the end zone with 5:56 remaining in the ball game.
Do you have the right truck? Introducing the 2004 Chevy Silverado, available with new Power Pack savings. Get this Silverado extended cab with a light-duty Power Pack, Vortec V8 heavy-duty trailering and more, and the Safe and Sound Power Pack, bucket seats, a Bose sound system, and more. Combine your Power Pack savings with cash back for a $4,000 total value on select models. Silverado, now available with Power Packs. It's the right truck.
The inspector's on site. What should I do? Hello, guys. What should I... He's going to pull the permit. What should I do? Is anybody there?
If your walkie-talkie service is unavailable, bad things can happen. Now there's a push-to-talk from Verizon Wireless, brought to you on America's best, most reliable wireless network.
Can you hear me now?
Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
Guys, thought you could use a Coke.
Let's go back!
It's the granddaddy of all premieres.
The boy got pregnant. I got 9 months to take dummy to daddy.
1 full hour of My Wife and Kids, Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on ABC.
ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chevy Silverado. It's the right truck. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right. Capital One. What's in your wallets? And Coca-Cola. Let's make it real. From the capital, Tallahassee. All Florida State today, 40-7. Colorado came a long ways with some high hopes, but some injury problems that they knew would limit them. And they played good for almost the entire first half. They gave up a field goal on a fumble late in the second quarter that changed the score from 13-7 to 16-7, and all Florida State in the second half. Eric Moore there.
Some ice
around the left hand. James Cox has come in, the backup quarterback for Colorado. And another nice play defensively by Florida State. That one was Charles Howard.
The second half.
Chevrolet drive summaries.
Yeah. You know, they've had 13 drives in the ball game. 9 have started at the 20-yard line or worse. And you see all the punts. Then the block punt right there is turned into a touchdown. It just nothing, didn't get much done in the second half.
Nope. James Cox, who was in a battle for the starting quarterback job at Colorado with Joel Klatt and Eric Greenberg at the beginning of the year, and then was thought to be, what a hit. And that's Cromartie, the guy that Bob and I talked about earlier, the freshman, put a lick on Derek McCoy.
He was one of the top freshman defensive backs coming out this year, and he's a local kid.
6'3", 200. And Mickey Andrews said, I was wondering at that size if he'd have quickness. We knew he was fast. He said he's got both. And he can put a hit on you. There's James Cox coming in to get to see some action. As I was saying, he was in the battle for the number 2 spot. And Greenberg just edged that battle out. And then with Platt hurt, Greenberg the starter, Cox the number 2 man, and now getting some work here and getting roughed up by Charles Howard here. 4th sack of the day for Florida State, 16 on the year. There's just too many breakdowns right now.
Yeah, I don't know where he came from, but he was almost back there as fast as Cox was.
Yep. Charles, a guy that had played a lot of defensive end. They moved him inside, and it's the speed more than the bulk that got him that sack. That's his forte. Here's the kick. Chris Davis waits on it from the 47. Davis across midfield and still fighting, goes down at about the Colorado 47. So 3 minutes and 49 seconds, all that's left in this one. Bobby Bowden about to win his 336th career game.
Free up your night for Outback's legendary bloomin' onion and our center cut filet.
Hey, John, how's work?
Working as we speak.
Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Let's say this is your car. Nice hardtop. If you drive safely, meaning you do stuff like obey the speed limit, always check your blind spot, and avoid accidents, hey, watch it, Leadfoot, then Allstate could reward you with something you'll eat right up. Some green. Up to 20% off your insurance bill. It's the Allstate Safe Driver Discount. Call today and find out how you're in good hands with Allstate. Hey, this is for the safe driver. Here you go.
We got a problem up here. Tower 12, weather's moving it.
Heading up.
Do you have the right truck? Does your truck have a Duramax diesel? Does it have an Allison transmission? Silverado, it's the right truck from Chevy. The most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Colorado has been rebuffed in Tallahassee today.
Oh, that's cold.
40-7. It's not going to get maybe a little bit easier for them. I don't know. So you look at their schedule. Baylor next. Kansas home at Kansas State. Kansas State lost today to Marshall.
They got a bye week next week, so they get a week off before Baylor. But they got to do something with their defense. They got to stop allowing so many points.
Yeah, they came in allowing an average of 32, and it's going to go up. Here's Napier. The little guy hustles over there and picks up a first down. Pickup of 11. Florida State is hot today, and here's who is along with them.
Tennessee beat Florida today. Miami's on a roll. They got a tough one tonight. Arkansas beat Texas the other day. Iowa's doing well. USC coming back strong, and Oregon is taking care of Michigan out in the West.
31-21 the last time we had a report on that one at Outson Stadium. Fabian Walker to throw and completes it inside the 20. Flags down. Lawrence Sam almost scored with that. A penalty marker down at the 14-yard line. Pickup of 26.
Face mask incidental, 5 yard, half the distance, first down.
So first and goal, Florida State. Who's not hot, Bob?
Auburn is not doing too well. Kansas State got upset today by Marshall at home. Arizona, Mississippi State, Texas got beat by Arkansas. Notre Dame Ty Willingham had been doing a great job last year. They lost their last 2 games of the year last year, and he needs to get some things reshuffled.
And they got hammered by Michigan last week and beaten by Michigan State today. So Notre Dame trying to fight its way back. At the 3-yard line, 1st and goal. Walker, the toss, and Florida State's got another touchdown. Ryan Reynolds adds 6 more. I wonder how many players Florida State's going to have played in this game by the time it's over.
That kind of leads into what I was going to say, and that we showed that graphic about Colorado offensively not doing anything in the second half. I think the heat and the humidity just wore that team down.
We knew Florida State had the depth, and most of the kids that we talked to in the past couple days said we hope it's hotter than heck on Saturday because we're used to it. But when you have the waves of people, especially on defense, that Florida State can throw at you, that's what helps to get 37 unanswered points. It's 47-7. This will open up some eyes. Florida State struggled on offense last week. All cylinders clicking today. And Reynolds, a nice cutback run, then puts his head down and just powers his way to the end zone.
I mean, Reynolds is playing because of the injuries to Booker and to Washington, and I mean he's about the 5th, 6th, or 7th back. Those guys are the scout team backs, showing the other team it's nice to see him get into a ball game and get some love.
Bobby Bowden doesn't have to worry about the headset anymore.
Bobby said, I got 9 losses the last 2 years. I didn't like the way that was going.
No.
Didn't like the way that was going. You know, I talk about that. We mentioned Mark Richt. I think part of that is some of the assistants that he lost. Mark Richt going to Georgia and Amato going to NC State. Not only losing the coaching ability at the university and on the field, but also the recruiting that they would have done for them, and they took away from them. Some of the players, like Amato, has gone down into Florida and gotten a bunch of players to come up to NC State that may have gone to Florida State.
Beatty has been a busy kicker, both in placements and kicking off. Jeremy Bloom is the deep man. They'd like to keep it out of his hands if they can, but it will go to him at about the 3-yard line. And Bloom just looking for those flashes of color he told us about earlier, but only got to the 20-yard line. Let's check in with John Saunders in New York. John.
Best performance of the day, easily, Antonio Perkins of Oklahoma returns this punt 65 yards for a touchdown, 277 total yards on returns, an NCAA record, and that was his 3rd touchdown return on a punt, also an NCAA record. 59-24, oh, by the way, a blowout, Oklahoma.
Wow, Perkins open 24 hours, huh? 3 touchdown returns.
Those defensive guys for Oklahoma don't like the second guys and the third guys going in and giving up all those points.
Pickup of about 5, down to 250 remaining in the ball game. I noticed when Reynolds came out after that touchdown run on the sideline, saw Billy Sexton down there, the running backs coach for Florida, and we'd be remiss if we didn't mention maybe some folks that didn't hear this week. Billy's dad, Billy Sr., passed away Tuesday. Was a great high school football coach here in Tallahassee and was an assistant coach at Wake Forest at one time in the 60s, and we just wanted to mention that and pass our condolences on to the Sexton family. And there's Billy's son, who's a 3rd-string quarterback, might be getting ready to come in. So the funeral will be tomorrow for Billy Sr. Wow, nice hit. Marcelo Church, and services were on right there. There's been some licking putting on out there today. Everybody wants to show their stuff, and everybody's getting a chance, and unfortunately it's at the expense of Colorado right now.
We saw Miami a couple weeks ago. They looked awfully good in coming back and beating Florida. Now we're seeing Florida State, and they're looking better and better. In a couple of weeks, that game, that should be a good one.
Whoops, high snap. Cox looking for some place to hide. Down he goes. 5th sack of the day by Florida State's defense after 6 last week against Georgia Tech. Down to the final 125. Today's Chevrolet players of the game. For Florida State, Chris Ricks, a career-high 30 completions and a career-high 394 yards passing. Brian Calhoun's a guy that had some big runs early that had Colorado in the ballgame. He ended up with over 100 yards on the day. Our congratulations to those two young fellas. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Torp set to punt away again on a 4th down and 11. Low snap. This one he kicks, and it's a beauty. Chris Davis has to back way up to the 27, and great coverage as well. He loses yardage as Vance Washington on the special teams not giving up. 53-yard kick, and he drops him in his tracks. So 46 seconds remaining, and Bobby Bowden about to win number 336. And as Joe Paterno won today, the little rascal, as Joe would call him, stays 2 behind.
They are best of friends, as you might imagine from our conversations.
And Bobby, by the way, last week with the win over Georgia Tech became the winningest ACC coach. 86 ACC wins. There's the update now. It'll be Bobby Bowden at 336 and Joe Pa 338. Joe is 76. Bobby will be 74 early in November. In fact, I think it's on the same day that he plays his son Tommy in the Florida State Clemson matchup. Always a nice birthday present when you want to go beat your son's brains in.
Yeah, that's you can never win that one.
No. Yeah, Ann's the loser on that one.
Yeah.
At the conclusion of our game, you're going to get some extra coverage. You're going to see Michigan and Oregon's finale, and we're about 1 snap away from being all done here. And Wyatt Sexton is in at quarterback, Billy's son that we mentioned earlier. And that is going to be the final play of the ball game. A resounding victory for Florida State. A tough day for Gary Barnett and Colorado. 47-7 our final score. For Bob Greasy and Lynn Swan, Brad Nessler saying so long from Tallahassee. Time now with a happy group of Seminoles here in Tallahassee to send it to Times Square Stadium in New York.